Pro tip, psychos here can request unsweetened iced tea and just drink it plain. See, I can't even imagine what your iced tea would be like plain. I bought this game, but I never got around to playing it. That is a travesty, but one I completely relate to because it's pretty much what I did. I had it in my game library for a very long time before I actually sat down and played it, and I really regretted waiting as long as I did. But yes, we're currently setting up some illusion spells, and I'm trying to decide what best ones to make. I think I would like False Pit that bounces around, because who can say no to that? I don't want to put anyone in stasis, because in stasis, the problem with the stasis affliction is it shields them, and I don't want to shield them, simply put. I might not have any enchantment sigil, though. I don't know. Maybe I should just. Okay, I like the illusion school, especially for False Pit. In fact, almost specifically for False Pit. It's like you convince them that they're falling into an endless pit, so they fall down. And while you're at it, you can convince them that they're gouting blood out of their eyeballs, so they start doing it. It's basically the Matrix. Your brain makes it real. So yeah, it's not exactly the nicest thing to do, but then again, this is you are the bad guy of the game, so you're not really meant to be being nice. Actually, let's go for range so I can get the maximum range on the bounce. Can I? No. I really do need to get Ebb's skills up. Ebb is primarily a mage, but this law skill is actually quite low for a mage character. So let's pop in the bouncing False Pit. Take care, Stalio. Thanks for dropping by. I wake up in the more still streaming. Yes, I went to sleep for the night. Aavak is streaming. I wake up in the morning, still streaming. Sorry, I thought you were saying you were going to bed. I should have read that out properly before I replied. But hello, good morning. The phase corn syrup aisle really says a lot about US diets. I mean, look, I'm not gonna slam you. It's a thing that you do. It's a staple of your the culinary experience in America, and furthermore, it's not like your average person has much of an effect on that. I mean, I guess you could perhaps arrange some sort of massive corn syrup boycott, but I'm not entirely sure that would necessarily work so well. Right, Unraveled Minds, Dazed Affliction, Stun Affliction. We've got quite a few options to stun people here, which I'm liking. We will, since we're not bouncing this one, we can go full bore on the Timeless Form. So dazed for 20 seconds, which would be nice. So recovery is down. They won't be able to heal as well. Stunned, obviously parry and dodge, but that doesn't last very long at all. I could give it an AoE, perhaps. But that would only increase the arc of the cone. Still, the arc of the cone being increased is quite nice. And then ranged up to 6.3 meters. Sure, we'll go with Unraveled Mind to say. And finally, I don't feel the Mischievous Mass is that useful. I could go with a buff, I guess. No, you know what? We need a heal. Let's get you a heal. And sure, we can have a multi-bounce Healing Wisps. I'm okay with this. Could I give the Healing Wisps an AoE? Let's go for range first. Yeah, I could have them each have an AoE for the healing, which is kind of interesting. Oh, well, actually, no, I can't. I don't have enough points for that. Damn. That would have been good, though. Let's drop the range and see if we can increase the strength. Yeah, let's go with that. Healing Wisps. There we go. Done and done and done, finally. Right. Let's get everyone together. Now, I'm not at all used to this ragtag group of adventures that we've got with us, so in before, we die horribly very, very quickly. Either way, though, we need to go back to Sentinel Stand and take the 1 day and 12 hours to get there. Alright, there we go. Now we've searched everywhere here, so we should be able to just go straight up and through. Does Ebb have the correct... Oh, thank goodness. I was about to say, where on earth have I put that insignia? That's like... Don't make me travel a day back just to get my insignia off whoever had it. That would annoy me. Ooh, what was just said there? Okay, everything looks okay so far. Barak hasn't said anything, but it looks like we can now move through this area without the insignia. Again, at the end of the day, the reality of any kind of food product is if it can be produced cheaply, then more people can have it. Now, whether that's safe for them or not is to be said. I mean, the whole thing with corn syrup, since that's really more of a luxury item, there's quite a lot to be said about that. But cheap foods allow people with less money to eat better. You know, there's definitely that side of things. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to have the best diet in the world, but there is something to be said about them having food. Now, the other thing that I noticed in America is the amount of food you could buy. Now, to be fair, I was spending dollars, and like in the back of my head, I was converting that into pounds. So, you know, there was going to be more food that I could buy anyway, based on that conversion. But at the same time, there was a lot of food you could buy. Can it be? A figure approaches through the storm. The Regent Skyblade seems ready to approach and welcome you. Dawning realization comes to her expression as she hoists up her weapons in a stance of challenge. Announce yourself, invader. We haven't sat in the eye of the storm this long to become slaves to Kyros. Take us to Stradius Hirudin. Barak advances on the guard with a menacing air. I don't want to hear any more of your petty threats or how much you love your country. Deliver us the serpent at the heart of this nest. Did I make a mistake in bringing Barak here? Whoa there, big boy. I just watched a storm all day. Stradius is behind the walls. She glances in your direction with wonder. Okay, maybe we didn't make a mistake. Maybe this is exactly why we needed to bring Barak along. The insignia. The sentry lets out a startled yell. Someone bearing the Regent's insignia comes this way. She squints to make you out in the storm. Why have you come, stranger? Okay, so options. Attack. I'm here to kill the Regent, but you'll do for a start. That's a bit bloodthirsty. Lie. I'm a friend to Stradius, and I carry a message for his ears alone. Does he live? Athletics. Roar over the volume of the storm. Or... the wind wall is open. I suggest you leave with your lives, or join the mound of bodies I left in my wake. That's as bloody as the third one. Though this one, I'm going to be honest. What am I doing here? Is this my entrance now, or did I just slam open the doors to any room that I enter and just bellow a roar of challenge to everyone inside? I mean, maybe that is kind of the Beastman thing to do, I guess. See, part of me wants to take this option just because it's funny. Now, my current party, I don't think they would particularly like lying, and I'm not inclined necessarily to lie here. but... sorry, we're going to herald our arrival with a roar. Gained 82 athletic skill experience. The Skyblade's weapon wavers in her hands and her face turns an unhealthy pallor. She seems equally poised to drop it and run, or make a careless swing to open some distance between the two of you. She furrows her brow and regains her bearing, advancing on you. You think I haven't screamed into the storm before? That my desperation to see home again hasn't ripped from my throat when I least suspected? You think I haven't breathed in my weight in rust and debris, and that my throat isn't as raw and parched as yours? Then come at me, and we'll see who roars the loudest. Oh well, that ended in the fight. Okay. The only options there were lie, challenge, threaten. Maybe I should have gone with threaten, because I don't really want to kill them, necessarily. Oh well. Barak, I need you to be much further forward. I'm also going to slow down time a little bit. Lantry, Ebb, let's get you up a little bit. Right. I would very much like it if you would not be charging straight towards me. Lantry really opening up with a fireball? My lord. Could we, possibly, drop an order of fear on Barak? And could Barak possibly... you know what, just get straight in there. Charge forward. Ouch. Please stop hitting me with everything. Oof, that was a nasty hit there. Okay. Next up, I am going to drop an electric bolt over there. Barak, have I turned your brain on? Yes, I have. Okay, that's good. It's a good first step. We could go with polished arms. Let's get your weapons a bit better. Lantry, could I get you to drop a healing aura right about there? And Ebb. Now that they are suitably lowered in will, we should be able to get off our illusion spells a lot better. Oof, that was a bit of a chunky hit. I'm doing nothing, which is never a good thing. Do I really want to... look, we're in a fight now. There's no point in me feeling sad that it turned to this. I'll just smack them with a bouncing fireball or two, and that should end it nice and quickly. Rhyme spike, in fact. On it. Pop. And
wrong weapon for the job. I need
concussive
to try
bolt.
something else.
Okay, stunned, drowning. My lord, Ebb. That's grim. But that is exactly what Ebb just did. Yes, there's literally a water bubble over their face. I mean, see, this is the thing I often think about whenever like comics have got some hero with some sort of power. All the ways that that power can be used that aren't directly the ways that that power is used, but would be so much more effective. Let's go and grab you. A diamond. I don't mind. I can control water. I can basically invoke water bubbles out of the moisture in the air and just wrap them around people's faces. There we go. Though, really, for me, by far and away, any hero or the villain for that matter who's got the power to manipulate air, you don't just need to just consider if you've got free manipulation of air. What is air? You can do quite a lot of things if you've got such a blanket statement. I can control the air.
On it.
Okay, that means that you can do all kinds of things with it. Well, assuming any gas. One, you can just rip the air out of someone's lungs and just watch them asphyxiate. Alternatively, you could just thin the atmosphere to the point there's almost no friction in a snowstorm. All of a sudden, those tiny, beautiful little fluffy snowflakes are now just dropping to the earth like tiny shurikens and slicing everything that they hit. There's 1,001 ways that you could just mess someone up by just changing the consistency of the atmosphere. It's like, I'm just going to drop the atmospheric pressure around you so you pop from the inside. That's great. Did I hear roaring a minute ago? The sentry trembles with his weapon drawn. Can only guess that my countrymen's gore on your boots, invader. I warn you that I'm ready to put up a better fight, and your fragile shrieks won't unnerve me. I'll poop. Go for the oxygen inside their bloodstream. Out of my way, peon. No amount of stalwart rants can keep me from wrapping my hands around the regent's throat. Stand aside or join the fate of your doomed master. You protect Hirodin after all this time? How sad. You look presentable after a year in isolation. Glare silently. Oh man, glare silently options that I can't take. Because honestly, I'm kind of impressed that they've, after a year inside this crazy rust hellstorm, I'm honestly kind of impressed. The keep is stocked with provisions enough to last us a century, though the regent hoards much for himself. Soldier's gaze veers in doubt. Oh, do I sense a little bit of dissent amongst the ranks? Giving me flashbacks of what the heroes were doing the boys. I'll see. Isn't it interesting that the last couple of hero offerings from Amazon have really painted the heroes in very bad light? Are they preparing us for something? This keep demands new leadership if the lowliest grunts speak so openly of their commander. He shakes his head and refocuses on you, raising his weapons and advancing a step. Don't try to distract me. Stand down and surrender, or... A voice bellows from the other side of the portcullis. Stay your weapons and raise the gate. I would speak with our guests. He looks over his shoulder and frowns. Step forward and present yourself, then. Keep a respectful tongue and you won't have any trouble. Stalwart's ruler looks at you with a mixture of caution and amazement. His gaze lingers on the steadfast insignia. That explains how you were able to pierce the winds. But why have you come? Not to liberate an enemy, I think. He squints. The long isolation has taken its toll, but we aren't deaf to news of the outside world. I think I recognize a fate binder when I see one, so logic follows that you are the keeper of Vendrian's Well. Hirodin, Barak pounds his fist together hard enough to shake the earth. That's what that was. My lord, Barak. Come out and face us, coward. You've dodged this reckoning long enough. I think Barak is really eager to end this edict, so maybe he can peel this armor off him and go to the toilet for once. Let's be completely honest now. That is a pretty grim fate. Poor Barak. I mean, it made no qualms about pointing out that no one really wanted to stand downwind of Barak before, but you got to understand that Barak is standing in that. He can't get away. It's not like he can just go upwind of himself. The regent blinks. Do I know you? Your face, what little I can make of it, eludes me. He sniffs and returns his attention to you. Your friend here seems a mite unstable for emissary work. We survived in the Overlord's prison for over a year. I live on, and so the regent bloodline endures. Even the disfavored couldn't breach Kyros' windwall when the edict crashed upon our heads, though I'm less certain how you managed. He regards you with a hint of resignation. You didn't travel this far to deliver terms of surrender, did you? Someone's destroying your people. Surely you must see the madness in prolonging the inevitable. I was hoping to talk some sense into you first. Came for the clear skies, but it seems I was misinformed. I've come to take Sentinel's stand. You will submit, or die. blunt and to the point, I kind of want to take this place as my own, sure. Well, I mean, the edict can be ended in one of two ways. Either the final sword is broken, or the line of the regent dies. Mm-hmm. I mean, they don't... It doesn't seem like they're suffering too much. I was hoping to talk some sense into you first. Sense? He's been holed up behind these walls while his realm slowly perishes. Not sure if sensibility or reason are within his grasp, but it is wise that we try to talk things through and not leap to bloodshed, no matter how inevitable it may seem. Okay, so Lantry, I think, approved of that. I'm willing to treat you with... to treat with you under peaceable terms, but I will not give up this fortress, or those who reside here, nor will I waste my life on any fool's ambition to see Kyros' edict resolved. I'm ignorant of my... I'm not ignorant of my part in this equation. The edict can only be ended with the blood of the regent, just as Kyros decreed. He nods. That's not true. Kyros drafted the Edict of Storms to punish the defenders of Stalwart for hiding behind the walls of their keep. The wording of the edict specifies that the death of Stalwart's ruling family will end the storm. To this day, the locals are welcome and encouraged to assassinate their former ruler. I thought the last sword had to be broken, though. I must warn you, I haven't survived this long only to be cut down by Kyros' lapdog. I endured the war, the disfavored suicide march, and the long isolation of this storm. I won't make it easy. What was that about disfavored suicide march? You could have ended this edict long ago. What have you gained from this long stalemate beyond the hatred of your people? You're blind to reason. There is no recourse but to end your life. I'm sure we can come to a mutually beneficial agreement. You've delayed your death long enough. What was that about disfavored suicide march? In the second year of the war, my personal forces captured one of Graven Ash's elite legions. We divided their numbers for our own protection. Some here, others at Duskwatch, with plans of bargaining with Ash for their lives. You preyed on the Archon's love of his troops. Monster! Oh, Barrack, come on. Seriously, we literally work for the evil empire. Emperor. Empress, whatever. We work for the baddie. I don't think you get to call anyone a monster. The war came to a, shall I say, climactic stalemate when a disfavored force amassed around Sentinel's stand to drive us out and liberate our prisoner. A thoughtful expression overcomes him, but he dispels it with a shake of his head. You're dodging something very specific about this. This seems suspect. I haven't been educated in Tunon's court not to be able to tell when someone isn't telling the whole truth or not. The rest, as you know, is history. Before the disfavored could finish their desperate attack, the edict swept up my people and Ash's legion like they were made of straw, battering bones and iron into so much dust that now swirls about our heads. I remember that day too well. If you had but surrendered, then hundreds of northerners and southerners alike would have been spared. My lord. Catching the conversation. Are you talking about economics in chat? I'm not sure that's a suitable conversation. That might get people far too aroused. Please calm yourselves. Think of the children. Stalwart bows to no one. Your armadillo of rust, you armadillo of rust and entropy. Wow. It's harsh. Hirudan grimaces at the barrack and shakes his head. Your presence alone dirties these noble defences. Double wow. What have you gained from this long stalemate, beyond the hatred of your people? He hesitates to answer first, then screws his face into a grimace. The people do not know what is best for Stalwart. We need a strong leader who understands the traditions of our realm, whose blood is part of that storied heritage. They spite me for preserving our strength here and outlasting the war, so be it. I did not accept this mantle for adoration. What have I gained? I have kept Stalwart alive in this self-imposed prison, whatever else you may think. The desperation to reach this place and end my life only confirms the righteousness of that decision, as hard as it has been. You could have ended the edict long ago. You mean by suicide or execution at the hands of my countrymen? His expression withers. That would betray the dignity of my station and the honour of my soldiers alike. In caving to the Overlord's will, we would lose the very thing which makes Stalwart great. Our perseverance. I took no pleasure in watching storms ravage my country. Here, from the safety of the eye, I have suffered the weight of that decision every day. But I would never second-guess it. Your burden is nothing to mine, or that of your people. You consign your country to this. To consign your country to this is unforgivable. When Kyros called on Ash to submit, he chose his soldiers' lives over his pride. You're a coward, and I'll see to it you die like one too. Strong words, but this definitely is kind of... I'm glad we got Barak here. This is definitely kind of fleshing out his character a bit. I'm not sure that my character would necessarily believe that a true leader would have fought to the very end rather than hide here. There's a certain pragmatism in it, but at the same time, no, I fancy that the beast tribes would have probably instilled a sense of it's better to die fighting than to live weak. That you're no use to the tribe if you're just hiding and unwilling to stand and fight. It's not so much what I think, it's what I think my character would think, based on his upbringing and further education. But as Barak says here, Ash chose to submit rather than... chose to submit to preserve his soldiers' lives rather than his... rather than try to preserve his pride. I'm going to end the edict one way or another. Will you help me or not? I will not, and you're a fool to think that I would accept such an outrageous proposal. Given everything that it represents, the very pride of my station hinges on rejecting your impossible solution. Raises his voice for all to hear. As regent of the great realm of Stalwart, I eject you from any courtesy or invitation that holds you to these walls, and banish you from my lands. Typical that the attendants of Kyros present no agreeable terms. You may distort the histories to reflect that I forced this confrontation, but everyone here will remember that when your overlord locked me in an impossible choice, I chose Stalwart. Hiradin turns away and heads through the portcullis.
It's a battle.
Okay. Unwilling to cooperate and is falling back to the castle walls. Drive his forces back and defeat the regent. And let's have a look at you. You've got quite a lot of armor. You've got very little. You've got a lot of armor. Alright, I want you over there. As for me, kind of want the false pit there. Let's get that bouncing around a bit. Likewise, I would like to drop Aura of Fear on Barak. Eb, what are you doing? Nothing right now. Good. Rhyme Spike, please. And Lantry, let's drop down a nice big hefty heal.
Feeling sorry.
Okay. Right, now with Barak's abilities active, I would like Taunt and Jest on you if I could.
Oh, if I had an iron ring for
Just to get you to stop attacking me. And a bouncing fireball would be glorious. Wow, that was actually quite a good one. Back, could you... Thank you. Oh, damn it, I got knocked off my feet.
Useless.
What? What did you just... I think she was complaining that her weapon doesn't do any damage, and she decided to do so by saying that a weapon was about... It was as useful as nipples on men. Eb, I've missed you. I have. Marvelous. Right. Let's go ahead and just drop that spell over yonder. Eb. Oh, they're so good. Can I get a bouncing false pit, please? And then can I get Electro Jolt? And can I get a concussive bolt as well?
On it.
This weapon is entirely worthless.
Oh wow. Those bouncing attacks really are doing some work, to be fair. Concussive bolt. Let's get that on you as well. And me up next. I think I'm gonna have to redesign my my attacks on my main character for more rebounds. Because that is just fantastic.
Too much.
Go for a false pit. Lantry, could you get a heal off me? Lantry's currently going for a fireball, it seems. There we go, that's quite nice.
Oh, if I had an iron ring for me.
Thank you.
Right.
I need to try a different weapon.
You do. Hey, Sheila. Good morning. How was your sleep? Right. Let's get into stealth for a little bit. Go on, broken spear. Okay, yeah, I definitely feel that as much as there are lots of spells for me to have to redo, we're going to redo him. We have to. I've got so much more ability now to cast spells. I've got 167 lore. Now, what I can do is I can quickly copy over some of Eb's spells. Namely, we'll go for the bounce versions of these four. So that one, assign there. And then this one, assign over there. Oh, so much easier when you've got a template to work from. But then I can just make them better based on my greater lore. So, for example, right here we've got Sigil of Stunning. I could go for Killing Blows. That will deal more damage based on missing health of the opponent. Could have Sigil of Bleeding if I really wanted to. I'm not sure I do. However, what I can do quite easily is bump up the damage potential. Alternatively, I can increase the amount of time that the stunned would work for. Add some armor penetration. Or add a bit of a stunned affliction radius. I think that actually might be quite nice. Just a little bit too much for me to be able to get a stronger hit. That costs 25, this costs 25. I mean, honestly, stunning them is super useful, so I'm going to keep the stun. But maybe I will go for the just raw power there. Yeah. So update that one. I'm Spike in much the same way. Just going to update all of these Let's get that one bumped up. And this one as well. Sigil of Strength. Now that one might be able to expand out. Ooh. Cursive Bolt. No, I think I'll just update them for now with extra oomph. Right, next up. Since this character does, in reasonable amount of the time, end up in fights. Direct fights. Let's go ahead and give... See, I think giving a massive armor penetration is great, but critical hits that cause, you know, massive gouts of flame to erupt from the ground, that's pretty convincing. It's hard to say no to that, really. And I could make this also affect allies.